everybody. Welcome back. We've got hats. Well, some of us have fully completed hats. Some of us are still working on our hats. Some of us haven't even started the thread catcher. It's totally fine. Wherever you're at this weekend's all good. The sewing hats have been a particularly fun one here in the studio. We've got lots of people in the homemade studio classroom here upstairs at the homemade shop. But I'm not going to waste too much time because I want to get quickly to our quilting correspondent live at Quilt Canada.
Yes.
We've got Michael Smith, who is
Hello,
in
hello.
Halifax right now. Let's give him a little, hey, Michael.
Hello. It is great to be with you all.
Yes, we've got a room full of wonderful super ticket holders who are here sewing away in the studio, making their hats. We had a full house last night making the first project, the thread catcher, and everyone is dying to hear what your experience has been like so far this week at Quilt Canada.
Oh, yes, it's been absolutely wonderful. I have not been out to the East Coast very much before. It's been many, many years. So it's been great to be out here. And I must say the buzz has been fantastic. People are so excited to get back in person, being able to connect with everyone. I will spin my camera around.
Let's see what we can find behind you. What do we have here?
Oh boy. Again, I'm on my phone, so I'm going to try.
We understand. Take a second, get the camera. Michael is joining us live from Quilt Canada.
There we are.
He is there in the Janome booth. Take us on a little tour here. Look at the beautiful Quiltmaker Pro 20.
Exactly.
What have you got going here today?
So right inside the door, literally, yes, we've got machines, and more machines. So fabulous Quiltmaker Pro 20 with Pro Stitcher premium computer. Our fabulous Janome dealer, Gail from Gem Sewing.
Hi,
yes.
Gail.
All the way, Jennifer Tryon says hi. All the way from, they have a store in New Liskeard, North Bay, Sudbury.
So,
yes, we're showing, again, beautiful Pro Stitcher. Now, this is all Pro Stitcher work here, but, you can do free motion. This is Monique's beautiful free motion quilting.
So good at feathers.
Totally. So, again, with the right machine, like Quiltmaker Pro 20, any style of quilting, there is a sample quilt here, many different styles of quilting you can do, free motion, computer guided, ruler quilting, whatever you want to do. So yes, we've got more machines. Now again, the shows like Quilt Canada, great time to get machines. Doesn't have to be fancy high-tech machines. How about these beautiful mechanical machines? One of the My Style machines here, again, mechanical, where you select your stitches. This is one of the machines that Janome has donated to the Youth Challenge quilt competition. That, again, Janome donates machines to help encourage the youth to get involved in sewing and quilting. Some cute little fun projects. So again, going to a show again like Quilt Canada, great time to select a machine, sit down, try them out. There's the fabulous Celine on the beautiful CM17. Jennifer Tryon says hello. So again, we've got, she's been embroidering up a storm because, a lot of quilters incorporate embroidery into their quilts. Speaking of quilts, yes, we've got the Quiltmaker Pro 18 Versa. So if that big long arm is not for you, how about the Versa, where you can stand up or sit down and do all of your quilting? So that is an option.
Savannah there, who gave us that nice...
Oh, yes, that's the fabulous Roberta that's here on my left. She's from the Sewing Guild here in Nova Scotia. Then we've got the fabulous Beverly Hackett from New Brunswick. So they are here in the Janome booth as well. Again, we've got, the CM7 was one of our classroom machines that, again, on a special price. Also in the classroom, 5300. Skyline S7 is also in the classroom. So again, a great time to take a class where we can learn a new technique, try out a new machine.
And are you
So
just
yeah.
seeing the most beautiful quilts there? It's
Oh
just
my
a ton of
gosh.
inspiration.
Totally. Now, of course, upstairs is the juried, quilt show where they've got all of the quilts. But here, this is the Wonderful booth is right across from us. So look at
Amazing.
all that beautiful Wonderful thread. And
You know
yes,
we
all
love
the quilts.
Wonderfil for sure.
Exactly. So again, just by seeing the booths in the quilt or the quilts in the booth that the vendors have
Yeah,
brought, again,
yeah.
how gorgeous is that and all that luscious, wonderful thread. So yes,
Perfect.
there are surrounded by, again, even more quilts there, surrounded by so much. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Well, this is amazing. We're all a little jealous, Michael. I'll let you get your camera turned back around so we can see your
Yes,
beautiful face.
exactly.
And,
Yeah.
we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks as we've been preparing for this event, how, and, when you're at someplace like Quilt Canada, the inspiration is overwhelming and all the cool
Yes.
machines and all the cool feet and accessories and projects that you can do. It's like, wow, I didn't know even my little machine could potentially give me so much power to produce all of these different kinds of
Oh,
projects.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And of course, you'll see me, behind me, some accessories. And
Yeah.
this is another great thing, when again you go to a show or again go to your Janome dealer and say, well, I love my machine, but maybe I want to try some new techniques. I need some different presser feed or I need a
Yeah.
different attachment, like the fabulous circular attachment
Yes.
that, is so popular that
Yeah.
you've had previous classes with.
Yeah.
And
So we've got
yes,
let's see what
look what
Michael's
you could
got there.
create
Yeah.
with
Like
the
to be able to
fabulous circular attachment.
use those decorative stitches. Like we're doing the hats today, Michael, and around the brim of the hat. Absolutely. The circular attachment is such a huge favorite. We've got an
Totally.
online class for it. And I just want to announce we're going to take another 15% off
Ooh,
any accessories today and tomorrow while the event finishes. So if you're interested in any of the parts or accessories that we're going to talk about in the next half an hour, I want you to email us at info@homemade.ca, and because we need to know your machine, because the parts
correct.
and the accessories that we're talking about, they're specific for your machine. They have to fit on your shank for to be a presser foot that's the right size for your machine. So that's what instead of just plunking it up online and you can just order it, you need to email us with what you're interested in, and we need to know what machine you have first and foremost, because then you can be ordering the circle attachment. We will send it to you. Let's
Correct.
talk about this one here, the tape binder,
Oh,
the
yes.
binder foot. This looks like very big and intimidating, but let's talk a little bit about how this works.
Oh, it's very cool. There's a quilt binder attachment that will
Yep.
fit on the sewing machines, and there's two types.
Yep.
One is the easy set model. The other is for the more rectangular, squarish bobbin covered. That's not easy set. So
Okay.
very important again to know which one. But the cool thing, there's also tape binders for the Cover
This
Pro
one's for the Cover
machines.
Pro. Yep, this one's for the Cover
Yes.
Pro. And the quilt binder you can get for your actual machine.
Sewing machine, yes, and they
Yep.
work on the same principle in that they fold over it doesn't have to be bias tape, it could be
Yep.
straight to the grain, or again, if it's on a garment, it could be a knit fabric to get a little bit of stretch. And the quilt binder or the tape binders, they fold over your fabric in thirds, basically. So you take about your 2-inch wide strip, and the binder folds it over in thirds. So it folds in the raw edges and then it folds it in half.
Yeah. So
So
if you
it's going to
take
bind the edge while it's sewing all in one step.
Yeah, there's the end of it. And I'm trying to show us on the side camera here. If you see it on like the end, the tip here, the fabric goes in and through, and you create your binding and sew your binding on all in one step.
Yes, it's a huge time saver.
It's a very huge time saver. Now, this is a very mighty, slightly expensive, I will say, Michael.
All metal. So again, it's
Yes.
going to outlive us all. But yes, all
That's
metal.
true.
One
That's
reason
true.
why they're There are some imitators out there, but you'll find they are plastic. They are not all metal, whereas Janome's all metal.
Let's talk about, this is one that a lot of people don't know about, but that could really save them when they want to try free motion quilting.
Oh,
And that's the
yes.
low tension bobbin casing.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
we typically call it, oh, there's a blue dot. If you could
blue dot.
see a little blue dot, it's called technically the low tension or blue dot bobbin holder. And yes, it makes all the difference in the world. Now, there again, as Jennifer said, very important, which machine do you have?
Yeah.
Because machines like Continental M7 and the new CM17, they take a very specific blue dot bobbin holder, and it'll say on the packaging for Continental machines.
Yeah, that's the one that we have here. And then there's one that you can get for, you know, like if you had the 4120, for example, or if you had, you know, another like the 6650 and you wanted to be doing a lot of free motion quilting, but you were finding that your stitches, especially on the bottom, are sort of eyelashing or you're getting railroad tracks, you need this bobbin casing for free motion quilting. Another very cool accessory that I thought you guys might want to see is the needle threader.
Oh, love it. Absolutely. There, Mike Sewing, or there, Mike Demore from Gem Sewing. I'm in reverse. Mike. I'm like, where is he? There he is. My doppelganger. They ask, where's Mike? Well, which Mike? The bald Mike? Yes, that needle threader. Oh, it's so wonderful, you know, because many of our Janome machines have a needle threader built into them, but they're calibrated for a size 10 Janome needle. So that eye is, again, size 10 or above. Let's say you're going to be sewing on some very delicate silk or some organza, and you need a very fine needle, like maybe a size 9 needle, very fine eye, very fine shaft. You don't want a big hole in your fabric. Well, that needle threader built into your machine, again, is calibrated for a size 10. So you're not recommended to use that needle threader on anything smaller than a 10 needle. So that size 9, for example, it's got a really small eye. That needle threader won't work. So the manual needle threader will work like a dream. And it's twofold, because one side will hold your needle into position. So when you're changing out your needle, and if you've got any dexterity issues, any carpal tunnel, a little bit of arthritis, the needle holder will help you position that needle up into place as you tighten that little screw. So it's double duty. One side will hold the needle, the other side is there to help you thread the eye of the needle.
Yeah.
Now, so when you use, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just we're gonna get a close up right here, because when you're changing your needle, and especially with the serger, I find, if you want to have it hold it, like Michael's saying, when you're changing the needle, it holds the needle there. You unscrew your needle, and then you can just pull it right out, and it's not going to drop down into your
yes. How many times has that happened to you? I know it's happened to me many times.
Yeah.
So now you can avoid that.
Yeah, these needle threaders are great. Let's go on to another one that lots of people ask me about. Our beloved Deb Forrest, who makes the most beautiful bags from Craxy Designs. She has one of these on order, and it's the
fabulous
Ultra Glide Foot. And this makes, when you want to sew with something slippery, or sticky or slippery. No, it's slippery when stuff is sticky, like leather or vinyl. This is the foot. Michael, talk a little bit about this one.
Oh, it is wonderful. Now, some people call it a Teflon foot. Well, Teflon is a registered trademark by the DuPont company. So it is not a Teflon foot, but it is a very similar Ultra Glide material. And it is exactly that. When you're sewing that rain slicker fabric, vinyls, leather, cork, anything that's a little sticky, this Ultra Glide foot will allow that fabric to slide under your presser foot more easily. It'll allow it to feed more easily. Now, it is a snap-on foot, so there is an Ultra Glide foot for 5mm machines, 7mm machines, 9mm machines. So again, very important to know. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So you can see the difference, that little bar in between. That's why we need to know what width of your machine is. The zigzag needle plate, for example, if you don't know what your machine is, just measure that little opening. Or when you turn on your machine, if you have an electronic machine, does that needle go to 3.5 center needle position, in which case you have a 7 millimeter machine, or does it go to 4.5? You have a 9 millimeter machine.
Right.
If you have a mechanical machine with the knobs that you adjust manually, you have a 5 millimeter machine. All mechanical machines are 5 millimeters. So that's an easy way to tell.
I love this foot too, and it comes with a lot of machines. But if you don't have it, it's worth getting, and it's called
Yes.
the we like to call it like the stitch in the ditch foot. It's a ditch quilting foot, and this
Yes.
allows you to sew. There's like this little
I call it a rudder, a
yeah,
little
a
rudder
rudder.
in
Oh
the middle,
yeah, okay.
parting the seas on
Yes.
either side. Yes.
And you'll take that foot and put it, or take that rudder, and it exactly lands in the middle of your seam. So if you're sewing a
Yes.
seam, if that's my finger, the rudder kind of goes right in the center here, and
Mhm.
your needle is going to go right in that ditch, and it's going to make stitching in the ditch a breeze. This one's
Oh,
very good for that.
absolutely. And especially if you, again, you match your thread to your fabric, and literally that rudder down the middle is parting the seas on either side, and your needle is following right into that groove. So you do not see your ditch quilting at all.
Yeah.
Or if you do want to see it maybe a little bit, maybe use a metallic thread, add a little pizzazz, but you'll just see a hint of that thread. It
Mhm.
really buries in, especially a textured fabric. Oh, that stitching buries right in. You'll never see it. It really works wonders.
Another really cool foot, it's called the beading foot.
Love it.
Yes.
I
And the
love all
beading
Janome feet, but yes.
Yes. So when you're using a zigzag stitch on your machine, right, Mike?
Yes, exactly. Now, beading, if you think, oh, I want to couch it, I want to attach it with stitches, is couching, basically.
Yes.
You think of beading if you do bridal, prom dresses, skating costumes, cosplay. You can attach beads and textured trims, a little string of pearls, sequin, whatever. Or I'm not really much into, pearls and strings of beads, but couching yarn. I love all that yarn. I can't be a knitter. I have no time, but I love the yarn. This is how we can couch the yarn, zigzag the yarn onto our garments, our tote bags, even the edges of quilting, edges of quilts. And instead of binding them, I couch yarn on the edge of the quilt to finish the fabric, the raw edge of the fabric. And that beading foot keeps that yarn or that string of pearls in the channel so it fits beautifully. It finishes beautifully.
And if you've got an embroidery machine,
Yeah.
you can also get a couching foot. I mean, the couching, couching, it's sort of a weird word because you don't really know what it means by the name of
Yes.
it. But if you want yarn to lay on top of your fabric because you want that texture, this will feed the
Oh,
yarn down under the needle just enough. I know Rhonda, who's watching intently here, we'll have to do a little demo for her on the couching foot. It's going to feed just a regular ball of yarn down underneath your needle and put it wherever you want it to go. Yeah.
oh, and it's so fun. And we even have there's a free motion couching foot set.
Yeah.
And then, yes, there's an embroidery couching foot set. So again, we need to know which machine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing with the embroidery machines, you're couching with a straight stitch as your embroidery machine does. But again, the kits that, for the 550E, for example, 500E, 450E, you can get a whole embroidery couching kit. It's got a little funnel that keeps the yarn directly above your needle so it feeds down. There's a special foot to use that'll keeps your yarn directly under your needle, and it stitches all around in a whatever pattern. It's fantastic. Now, luckily, all of these feet we have blogged about on Janome Life blog, so
Mm-hmm.
you can go there for more resources. As well, I have on the Janome HQ YouTube channel the A to Z with Janome playlist. I have a number of these feet demoed there as well, so you can find lots on Facebook or Facebook and YouTube are various lives.
For
There's
sure.
like Oh, where's my camera? There's the little couching feet. Again, they've got a little hole in the couching. There we go. A little hole in each couching foot. So you can use different sizes of yarn as well. So Janome does all that engineering. So it is so easy, and you can add a lot of texture. And again, you get that yarn fix, as I call it, without taking up the hobby of, knitting.
Yeah. Some of them have letters and some of them don't. Some people are asking what the letters are on the feet so that they know. Some of the bigger ones, like that we've talked about, the circle attachment, the
There's
binder,
no letters on
no
that.
letters
No.
on couching foot. But the stitch in the ditch is the S foot that we spoke about, and the Ultra Glide doesn't have a letter either.
It's the U. U for Ultra Glide. Yes.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Some of them make sense, but then other feet, like, the G foot, for example, the G foot is the blind hem foot. So that wouldn't make sense. The I foot is the piping foot. And you wonder, like, why? So some of the feet make sense of why it's lettered the way it is. And others no. But then again, I've got that A to Z with Janome series on Janome HQ YouTube or Janome HQ Instagram Live. And I go through the Janome alphabet describing all of those feet, or again, jump on Janome Life blog and you can read more about all of those accessory feet we've blogged about. There's little videos on a number of our more recent blogs that we've been including videos wherever we can so people can see the foot in action.
Deb Forrest is asking, is the blind hemming foot the same as the stitch in the ditch foot?
Great question, because they look very similar, but the SD or the S foot, the stitch in the ditch foot, ditch quilting foot, it has a longer rudder in the middle.
It is a bit longer, but I have to admit, I have used them for the same thing.
Exactly. It'll work in the same purpose. Technically, the G foot's rudder is a little bit more to the left with a little bit of a groove for the needle. And the G rudder is not as long as the ditch quilting foot rudder is a little longer. But they look very similar.
They do. And if you don't have the S foot, you can use the G foot in a pinch. But the little fence, the rudder he's talking about, is, I'd say it sticks out almost 1/4 of an inch longer. Than the other foot. The other one I wanted to tell you about that I think are very, very useful when you need them is the pin tucking foot and the three-way cording foot. And what these do is the pin tucking, I think, is just amazing. If you're, like, let's say you were doing a skirt and you wanted to have the same fabric of, I'm going to pull my skirt right up on the table here, okay?
Is that the skirt you're wearing?
It is the skirt I'm wearing, yes, whatever. So let's say you wanted the texture of your skirt to have, like, 3 or a whole series of little pin tucks all the way along. This foot, it's just incredible how it does it. It gathers them up as it sews through, and you end up with this beautiful row of pin tucks. And Michael, do you put a little piece of like embroidery thread or something like that underneath to make those pin tucks, or do you do them on their own?
Oh, well, you can do double duty. The great thing about the pin tucking feet, when I first bought my 32-year-old Janome machine, mechanical machine, there is a 5mm pin tuck foot. There is a 9mm pin tuck foot. There's a wide groove and a narrow groove pin tuck foot. So this is the kind of foot where even if you have the most basic machine, you can get more from that machine by getting these specialty feet. So the pin tucking feet, you would use a twin needle, and then that creates that perfectly parallel row of those twin needles, those 2 parallel lines of stitching, and it kind of tightens up, and a little bit of the fabric gets drawn into the grooves that are in the bottom side of the foot. You can add even more dimension to those pin tucks by, under their fabric, you would run a little string of, it could be embroidery floss, it could be pearl cotton, even some, depending on the grooves of the pin tuck foot, even some, cotton twine, whatever. There is a pin tucking guide that goes into your bobbin cover that has a little metal hook that'll keep that guide perfectly centered under your needle. So again, there are specialty presser feet and attachments to help improve the accuracy of your sewing. And even pin tuck's another good reason for pin tucks. Let's say you're garment sewing and you don't want to add a dart in your blouse or your skirt waistband. You don't want to add a dart. Use a couple of rows of pin tucks that will draw in the fabric as if it's doing the same thing as a dart, but it's adding it more decoratively, just something different.
And the three-way cording foot is sort of the reverse of that, where you want to add, let's say you've got some embroidery floss or a long string of something, you can put 3 pieces side by side. And let's say you wanted to do like a little rainbow on a pillow or a pouch or on the blouse or whatever. The cording foot lets you lay down your string 3 at a time and just feed them through, and the machine accurately puts all 3, like it's just drawing that cord right on there. It's very satisfying, this foot.
Oh, it is. And again, jump on Janome Life blog. You will see many blogs about it. And again, you're technically couching that yarn. Yeah, you could use a plain old zigzag, or we recommend using, there's a lot of Janome machines have the satin stitches built into the machine, and the 3-way cording foot works really well with some of those satin stitches. You can really get a lot of cool decorative effects. And again, this is where, you maybe have a really thick thread, metallic, almost like, a really thick thread. You don't want to use it in your needle. It's maybe a little too thick. This is a perfect time to use that thread, get that thread. It's gorgeous. And then you can couch it. If it's too thick to go in your needle, for example, you can still use it in maybe your beading foot, in maybe your couching foot, maybe your pin tucking foot, or the 3-way cording foot. It's a perfect time to use all those thicker threads, thin ribbons, add a lot of texture, dimension, tote bags, quilts, garments. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, this is great. And I know you don't have too much time left, but I want to talk about one that could seem like a little boring, but is so critical. I mean, we hear a lot about the HP foot, but talk a little bit about the straight stitch foot.
Oh, absolutely. For those who you're doing, especially, I think, of course, straight stitch, where we're piecing, typically quilt piecing, but straight stitching of any kind. It could be top stitching. It really recommended to use a straight stitch needle plate. Now, many of our Janome machines come with both the universal zigzag or the straight stitch one. If one straight stitch needle plate doesn't come with your machine, ask your Janome dealer, hey, is there one available for my machine? There isn't a straight stitch for every Janome machine, but a lot of them do have a straight stitch needle plate, and the straight stitch foot works perfectly with it. Because then again, your needle is in that center position. And when you use it in conjunction with the straight stitch needle plate, you don't have to worry about your fabric being pushed down into that needle plate. You just got that perfect row of even stitching for piecing, top stitching. Yeah, it works out so well.
There's only a tiny little hole, almost just the size of the needle, that the needle can go down in, which means the presser foot is covering a lot more of the fabric. So if you ever have problems with the fabric getting pushed down inside the needle plate when you're straight stitching, you're going to want to see about getting a straight stitch needle plate and combining it with the straight stitch foot, and that's going to really help take care of that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And because that straight stitch foot, is a little wider, again, it's covering your fabric more, giving you a little bit more support. Your fabric's not moving around. Sometimes if you use a really narrow foot, you maybe aren't in as control of your fabric as you would like. So again, there's a foot alternative for everybody.
2 other things before. I love the little quilting attachment kit.
Oh, yes.
That has the free motion foot, has the 1/4-inch foot, the cloth guide. We talked a lot about the cloth guides in the last live that led to this whole parts parade, because the cloth guide, everybody was loving the cloth guide. Comes with a walking foot, the needle, the straight stitch, the guide bar for straight stitch quilting, the F2 foot. Anyway, this little kit here, for a 7mm, is it a 7mm machine or 5mm? Well,
That's the great thing.
Yeah.
It initially was only 7mm machines, like the QDC range of
Yeah.
machines. They often come with it. But then because that little quilting attachment kit is so popular, you get so many feet, like a big bang for your buck.
Yes.
They're now available in 5mm machines. So again, you've got, oh, I've got a basic mechanical machine. I only have 12 stitches. I only have 18 stitches. It doesn't matter. You get a little attachment kit like that. There's so much more you can do with your machine based on the feet.
Exactly. And then the last thing I wanted to point out, and now this is for models from the 5300 QDC up, and it's the AccuView. And I wish I had the actual, I should have asked Amanda to bring it up because it's in the package here. The AccuView is the little cheater glasses for the front of your machine where you pop it on and then it magnifies when you're wanting to thread the needle or change the bobbin and you need to get a better look at what's going on in front. It just pops right underneath your machine. You swing it forward. It comes in 20 times, 40 times, or 60 times the magnification.
There we go.
Yes, you've got one right there. Yeah, this is a game changer for people too.
Well, yes, exactly. Again, there's a little hole. And if you need to know, again, we've got blogs on Janome Life, how to identify, is it going to fit on my machine? There is a little hole in the housing. It's usually around where the side thread holder is, that you can just feel under there, or you just drop a mirror on the bed of your machine and see exactly just like that. Or then you can drop a mirror on the bed of your machine and then you can look up and see. So this just goes up in the, there we go, just the housing of the machine. And then, oh, look, you can see, now there are 3 magnifications. There is a 20, a 40, and a 60. So even if, I mean, you can see my eye there, even as you see that you can use I read these, the back of the blister packs. I use these to read those. So there, and perfect. It's exactly just as you're demoing, that you can swing it around when you need it, swing it out of the way when you don't.
Yeah, and it just comes right into place. And, you know, you can see the magnification there on the camera a little bit. As soon as you bring it right in front of the needle, you're basically looking right at the presser foot, right into the eye of the needle. It's got perfect positioning. So these little AccuView magnifiers are absolutely perfect. If you've got, but again, tell us the name of your machine and then we'll be able to send you the right one or let you know if it's for your particular machine. But everybody who buys these, let me tell you, is like, what? I didn't know. It's like a pair of cheater glasses.
Yeah, it really is.
Wears,
yes,
so you don't have to
absolutely.
look for yours, and it just swings right out of the way when you don't need to use it anymore, right off to the side. So there is a very, very extensive and cool lineup of all kinds of different feet and accessories. I'd encourage you to visit Michael's, say it again, it's the A to Z, right?
Yes, on Janome HQ YouTube. They originally started as Instagram Live. So on Janome HQ Instagram Live, but then I realized not everybody has Instagram. So I've loaded them to the Janome HQ YouTube channel. So then people can see it's the A to Z with Janome playlist. And it goes through the A foot, for example, is the zigzag foot that comes on every Janome machine. But I also talk about, the AP foot, which is the applique foot. And then the B foot is the buttonhole foot. And the C is circular attachment.
Yeah.
D is the rolled hem foot, and on and on and on.
Even when you're like going to bed at night and just watch a couple, and honestly, the education that happens. I mean, we've invested in these machines and sometimes we're a little blown away that they do much, much more than just sew a straight line.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And oftentimes, just a little attachment like this can make all the difference. So if you're watching and you're participating in the event this weekend, please let us know if you're interested in any parts. We're taking 15% off of Janome feet this weekend. So you can email us at info@homemade.ca and let us know what machine you have. And then we can order the correct part number for your machine because they're all special. You need to get the one that fits your machine.
Yes. Yes, and it makes all the difference in the world. And again, jump on Janome Life blog. Oh, we even have the presser foot workbook. That is something else you can order from your fabulous Janome dealer.
And it is a binder that literally you just flip the page and it's like, you want to do this? Use that. You want to do this? Use that. Yeah, that's
Yes, and
very
not only just regular sewing too. I mean, there's extra feet for your serger. There's a blind hem foot for your serger. There's a piping foot for your serger. There's so many a beading foot for your serger, a gathering attachment for your serger, the tape binders for the Cover Pro that Jennifer showed. There are so many feet for it, no matter what machine you have. Serger, Cover Pro. Oh, of course, our Quilt Maker Pro 20 that we showed in the beginning. There are extra hopping feet for those machines as well. So the extra feet and accessories, regardless of what kind of machine you have, can really help you, again, fall in love with that machine over again and keep it for years and years to come.
This has been so informative, Michael. I really appreciate you, giving us a little tour of the Janome booth at Quilt Canada.
Thank you.
Everybody, please stay tuned to Janome Canada's Facebook page. Michael's been going live there throughout the weekend. And as Quilt
toured
Canada
those
continues,
beautiful quilts upstairs. I did yesterday a couple of lives, so you got to see the quilts. So everyone can go to Janome Canada Facebook to see them.
For sure. We absolutely will. And if you have any questions about these feet, and like, I know we kind of whoosh, we go through here kind of quickly. So if there's something that caught your eye and you just need a little bit more explanation, you can leave a post in the group. You can send us a message, info@homemade.ca, and we'll get you all the info you need to make the most of whatever sewing machine you have. Michael, I'm going to let you go because I know you're very busy there. You've got classes coming in 15 minutes. So thank you for making time.
Thank you for the heads up, because I could talk on this all day. So
I've been watching. It's 1:10 our time, 2:10 for you. So you've got a schedule to keep. Maybe you can
thank you.
Hit the loo and then have a little bite and recharge.
Yes, absolutely. I need to powder my head. It's a little shiny.
I'm feeling it too, to be honest. We've got some prizes to give away, so don't everybody jump off here while Michael does. We're going to draw some prizes, and then we've got another live class coming up. Michael, thank you so much. Oh,
fabulous. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing the Janome love, everyone. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Bye, Michael.
Bye.
Oh, he's great. We always appreciate when he gives us his time, especially live from Quilt Canada when you know he's busy, but he always makes time for all the homemade homies. Okay, we've got some prizes. Where's Ruby, who's been standing by patiently since 8:30 a.m. to do the draws today? Hi, Rube. Okay, our first little bundle is some cool things for your sewing room. We've got the Oh So Clean brush and cloth set. And what this is, I'm going to open it right up so you can see, is it helps you keep your machine clean. And it's an extended length brush to get the dust out of all of those, nooks and crannies. It's kind of got a rubberized handle. It's so much cuter and, more effective than the little tiny brush that always comes with your machine. You've got the little microfiber cloth. That's so cute, and it's in that little set. You've got the pin wand, which is a cool magnet, and the quilty measuring tape. So we're going to give that to someone. Ruby, we're going to plunk you right under here and pull out a name or email. I think we put email addresses in here. So you'll have to listen for your email address. All right, who is it? Lisa Fredette. All right, Lisa. All right, so we are going to, oh my gosh, these are hard to hold on to. We are going to send that to Lisa. Congratulations, Lisa. Okay, what should we do next? A fabric bundle? Sure. All right, this is the Serenity from Figo Fabrics. This is a great little calm bundle. Ruby, let's pull a name. Who have you got? Let's see. Okay, this is an actual email address, ahts@shaw.ca. So we'll be able to look that up when we go downstairs, but maybe someone will recognize it, ahts@shaw.ca. All right, we're going to put it right under there. Yay for, look, Kathy's saying, pull mine, Ruby.
Wait, what are we doing next?
Oh, let's do last one for now. We're going to do the Janome. I love my Janome thread tin. And this is full of all kinds of half embroidered or half poly, half cotton threads and all kinds of different colors in this so cute tin. All right, who is it? Let's see. All right, Mel Banford. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations, Mel. You have won the thread tin. So we are going to send that off to you. And we're going to draw some more names at 3 p.m. when we're back live. I believe it's at 3 p.m. And is it at 3 p.m. or is it tomorrow? Are we back? 3:45 we're back live? 3:45 we're back live. Yeah, I got to look at the schedule too. You know, got to stay on track. Any questions, just post them in the group. Now, I'm going to cut this live right now. I'm going to reset here, and we're going to come back in about 15, 20 minutes at 1:30 Eastern time, and we're going to be doing our live card making class. We're going to be free motion applique. So if you're wanting to get set up, get out that kit, get your feed dogs down. That's kind of like funky. Get your feed dogs down, and we're going to get ready for our card making live, 1:30. See you then.